Stress takes a toll on the body, and the field of stress management has become quite the money-making enterprise. And there are many fantastic stress management techniques out there. The ones that are the best, it really depends on the person. But I am finding that most people lack a basic understanding of the physiological response to stress. The mental side of stress, it's much better understood. So here are a few things I think you should know. The stress response is a high energy state of fight or flight. It's a normal thing, it's a good thing in short doses. When we talk about stress, what we actually are talking about is a prolonged low-grade state of fight or flight. We can't thrive to our best potential when we're in a prolonged low-grade state of fight or flight. Instead, we're tired, we're cranky, and we have a bad memory. Our senses are also heightened, which means that annoying sounds are going to be really annoying, and bright lights can sometimes seem blinding. Bad smells are going to seem nauseating, quick movements are going to seem extra quick, and crowded places can start to become overwhelming. Now, triggers. Triggers are also called stressors, and the body perceives stressful situations in the form of triggers. So even without us knowing, the body can be experiencing a trigger and reacting to it. We're not always aware of when we've encountered a trigger. So sometimes we may simply start to feel worse and not understand why. If this occurs, take a moment to look around at your surroundings. Was there a smell that you encountered? Did something flicker out of the corner of your eye? Did you hear a sound or some music playing on the radio? Or maybe, are you in a place where something bad happened to you sometime in the past? When your system triggers, give yourself a moment to become aware of it, because the awareness will actually decrease the intensity of what you're experiencing. Now, when triggered, the nervous system must reset back to a state of neutral, which is wound down mode. This is a process, and it's common for the nervous system to remain in wound down mode in the long term, sort of perpetually, right? Especially if we're unaware of what's happened. Now, trauma. Bad experiences are often called traumas, especially if they're really bad experiences. But the body's responses, the physiological response to a trauma, is actually similar to its response to a trigger. The nervous system goes into a state of fight or flight, and hopefully gets a chance to reset back into the state of neutral once that trauma is over. So if you suspect that your system never got a chance to reset back into neutral and that you're in a state of perpetual fight or flight, come in and talk to me about that. I can help. If you suspect that a past trauma is causing your system to trigger on a regular basis, I might be able to help you with that as well. Even when triggers happen on a small scale, they really affect our ability to function optimally. Now, once you've experienced a trigger, when you have experienced a trigger, your body's now in a state of fight or flight. You may notice a rush of adrenaline. You might feel an upward or a downward movement in your stomach. Your senses are going to be heightened until your nervous system is able to reset back into that state of neutral. So if you go to the grocery store, you're going to notice that the lights and colors seem brighter, the smells would be stronger, the people are moving faster than usual, and generally, you're feeling overstimulated. Your muscles are going to be flexed. You're not going to be able to have the balance and the flexibility that you're used to having. And if you're someone who does experience body pains once in a while, your pain's probably going to flare when you're in this state. You'll startle easily. You may gasp if a bird flies by too close to you. And some people may even get a sensation that there's bugs crawling on them. Now, places where something bad has happened to you are going to be places that produce the largest triggers. If you find yourself triggered, remember that awareness is key. Until we can get the nervous system reset back to the state of neutral, awareness and understanding of what you're experiencing will help you better able to stay functional during the trigger response. However, it is possible that your system might move into panic mode, panic attack. If this is happening regularly, come in and talk to me about it. It's not something I can cover in a video like this, but I do want to introduce you to the concept of the felt sense. The felt sense is different from our thoughts and our emotions. It's the body's wave-like responses to our experiences. Examples of the felt sense would be a tingling sensation or a nauseated sensation. And once you start to tune in and identify the felt sense, a lot of people find that that's really helpful to avoid anxiety heightening or the trigger response sort of going way out in left field and causing a big, big response. So, as an example, I feel numb, trembly, I feel twitchy, I feel suffocated, I feel dizzy, I feel buzzy or bubbly. Where do you feel those sensations? Well, I feel them in my feet and in my hands, I feel them in my head, in my back, and in my shoulders. Generally what will happen is that you'll feel different felt senses in different body areas. So once you've identified your felt sense, then you want to bring your awareness into your 5 senses. And what that means is listen carefully, hear what's going on around you, smell what's going on around you, see what's going on around you, notice any colors that might be standing out to you. Notice what's moving and what's standing still, and focus on what's standing still. Feel the temperature of your environment. Is there wind? Are you sweaty? Feel your clothing that you're wearing. And that's the 5 senses. Now, for those of you who have severe stress or have experienced severe traumas, you're well aware of how complex your stress response really is. I would encourage you to look much further than this video for help and insight on that. As I'm sure you already know, I'm really just scratching the surface here. But that's what I have to say today about the physiological response to stress. Thanks for watching the video. Take care of yourselves. Have a good day.